to my channel, Wall Breakers, here to inspire you to be epic, be legendary. All right, today I have a very good friend of mine who is a guest. This is our first time doing a collaboration, and her name is ClauDia Vogas, and she has a channel on her YouTube. And before I get to her and introduce her more, I just want to introduce her personally because she's been good to me, and I'm very appreciative that she decided to want to collaborate with me, my first collaboration. So this wonderful lady is an author. She is a loving mother, a loving wife. She's a traveler. She's been on 2 shows. She's a life coach. She has done a lot of things for a lot of people, and she is here today as we are going to discuss how to forge an epic and legendary life using emotional freedom. So I introduce you and welcome you to ClauDia.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm glad to be on your show, on your channel. It's really exciting, especially the topic. I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, so shall I say a little bit more about myself, or?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's see. Where do I start? So I'm 38 years old in the meantime, and I live in Germany, and my husband is Brazilian, so a lot of energy and fire there. And I don't know if I say, unfortunately, or thank God, our little daughter has the same energy, or even more, it feels like. And pretty much she's the reason that a lot of things changed in my life. I used to be a life coach and a professional coach, mostly around the area of emotional freedom, helping business owners and professionals to get rid of stress in their life and drama in their life so they can focus on what is most important to them. And a lot of times it was their mission, the impact that they wanted to make in the world. And emotional freedom is something that came to me because I was working in the corporate world. I was working with Oracle and VMware. Oracle, I think most people know by now. VMware, they're a great company. I can recommend anybody to work there. Oracle has amazing training. But coming to the point, when I was working at Oracle, I actually burned out. And okay, there's something, a message. Let me close this down here. Okay, so when I was at Oracle, I was burning out because it wasn't the job for me. It wasn't something that I was happy about. I love the training they had. 1 second, I have some weird feedback going on here. I'm closing some other stuff here. I don't know if you can hear the feedback as well, or if it's just me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so pretty much I burned out because I wasn't taking care of my body. I wasn't doing what I loved, and it wasn't fulfilled. And then what was the third one? Oh yeah, my emotions were destroyed pretty much. It was really, really bad. I wasn't taking care of my emotions. I was one of those toxic people that were going around the office and telling them how bad life was, pretty much. And then I went to a Tony Robbins event. And I didn't have the money at the time, but I spent like $300 for over 3 months to pay that ticket. And then he wasn't even there. It was the Web Mastery. And thank God they also had personal development in that event. And the funny thing is that I remember I thought I had to have someone else that fixes my life for me. Because if you go on YouTube, you see a lot of videos where Tony is doing an intervention with someone. That's what I wanted. That's what I thought I needed. And so I went there, and then the first day, unfortunately, before I left, I was living in Prague at the time, and before I was drinking some Starbucks Frappuccino, which tastes delicious. But unfortunately, as I was drinking it, I was thinking, I hope I don't get sick tomorrow, because like drinking something cold and then this kind of thinking is not really very productive. And so guess what happened? The next day, I started getting a cold. And one thing what you do at Tony Robbins event, you scream. You like it's like a rock concert a little bit. I don't know if you have ever been to one, but it's kind of like a rock concert. And so after the first day, I had no voice anymore. So trying to do an intervention with someone who doesn't have a voice. Kind of ironic. Because now I'm helping people reclaim their voice, not the actual voice that they're speaking with, but the voice that they need, that is inside of them, that they need to express. and coming to what I'm doing right now. So that's pretty much how I started finding the first emotional freedom technique. And then now, in the meantime, I found quite a few different techniques. And what I've noticed, every technique works different in different situations. So now I have 4 different techniques that are my go-tos. Let me say 4. 1, 2, 3. And they're my go-tos pretty much. So, for example, today, as you can see, I'm not as skinny as I used to be in my other videos. That was due to all the stress I had from the delivery from my daughter and all the drama that came with it, because she was born 3 months early. There was a lot of drama, stress. She wasn't breathing when she was born. And she was in the hospital for 2 months, but she had miraculous recovery and super energetic, like a volcano and tornado and hurricane and everything mixed into one with a lot of love. So, yeah, so I'm trying to get where was the point? What was the point that I was trying to make? Oh, yeah, right. So today, for example, we went shopping. And as I was going shopping, let's put it like this: the fat on my body got there with the chocolate. So what I made sure is, instead of buying the chocolate and then fighting it home, not too good, I was pretty much working with myself, using the technique as I'm in the store to get rid of the desire of even buying it in the first place. So I don't even have it at home. And that worked really, really well for me, actually. And this technique that I use today is called emotion code, and you can find it for free. Like all of it.
You said emotional what? Hold.
Emotion code.
Emotion code. Okay. Code. Explain to the audience what that is.
By the way, if you go to emotioncodegift.com, that's where you can get a lot of content about that for free. You can get the book for free, like as PDF, I think, an audio book, a lot of content, a lot of kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so the technique works by, let's put it like this, a lot of different traumatic experiences or like intense experiences can cause emotions to get trapped in your body. And by the way, the thing I'm getting feedback from hearing me on your side.
Yes.
That'll be good. Then I don't hear myself. Anyway, so emotions can get trapped in your body, even something like overjoy. If it was too intense, it can even cause damage to your body. And if you have too many emotions going on, what can happen is disease can manifest.
Yes, yeah, I've heard that many times. Like if you're always stressful, like if you have too much built up anger, for instance, that your body, your immune system doesn't work as effective because it's just because of the chemicals. The good chemicals are not as optimal as it should be, because you're just so angry, you're so stressed, you're so tense, you don't allow your body to help you recover faster. So I've heard many stories of that, where if you're so tense and so stressed out that you are more likely to get sick than someone who's calm and easygoing at times. So yeah, I can see that point very much.
Yeah, definitely. And what the emotion code does is it releases the emotions and the body can relax. So let's see if you have a trapped emotion. Are you okay with checking that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so the first thing we would pretty much you can ask yourself, or I can ask you in this case. So first something called kinesiology or muscle testing, and it's kind of like the ring test. And the idea is to just put it lightly together.
Okay.
And then with the other finger, try to break that. And I know my husband was trying to do it like this, and it needs to be a circle, by the way.
Okay. So you put a finger, you just try to break it?
Wait. So the first thing you need to say is, my name is, in your case, Adi, no?
Yes.
My name is Adi.
Okay.
For me, it doesn't work. It's not my name. So but for you, it should stand. Let's see.
So my name is Ozzy, and I just like that.
It's strong, yeah. So in your case, it works. Good.
Okay.
So then when you so normally that means if it stays, it's good. It means yes.
Oh, wow.
So the next thing would be saying something like, "My name is Claudia," which in my case is true, in your case is not. So let's see. My name is Claudia. Yes, for me it works. Let's see if it works for you.
Okay, so I say your name now.
My name is.
Okay, my name is Claudia.
See, there you go. So the body cannot lie, and for some people it might take a little bit to get the right pressure connection here. Yeah, and there's also different ways of testing the body. It might not, this time might not be the right thing for you. I remember I had this other thing where I held my arm here and then tested like this. So this was the arm, and this was the one trying to push it down.
Okay.
If you go actually look for emotion code on YouTube, there's videos where you see the actual inventor or creator of this technique doing it with the person where they hold the arm like this out. And then the guy is pretty much trying to push it down, right?
Yeah.
And if it goes down, then it means that body's weak or it's cold.
Really?
Yeah. So,
wow, that's very fascinating. I've never heard that before. Huh? I learned something new today.
Oh, that's just the beginning.
All right. So a few questions.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, we just barely got the level down. We didn't release any techniques yet.
Oh, really? That's just the beginning. I didn't know. Oh, there's more to this. Wow. Okay. Well, let's keep going.
Now we're gonna ask, do I have a trapped emotion?
Okay.
I still have one. Everybody has a lot of them. But let's see if you have one. Do I have a trapped emotion that I can release right now?
Okay.
Do that.
So I do the same thing.
You ask the question that I just said, and you do the same thing.
Well, okay, repeat the question one more time.
Do I have a trapped emotion that I can release right now?
Do I have a trapped emotion that I can release right now?
Okay, either you don't have one, which is unlikely, or you're not ready yet.
Okay. Okay. So how do you know if you're ready though?
I'm not quite sure because it could be that you haven't held this one strong enough. That's why I went through.
So there's certain pressure. Okay. So do you want to hold it as hard as possible? Hold this as hard as possible?
No. You're supposed to hold it tight enough that you feel a little bit of pressure.
Okay.
But not like this. No way. It also cannot be that every time you do this, it's like if you do this every time and it goes through every time, then it's not right. You haven't found it yet. So,
okay. So just enough pressure to where you can kind of feel it.
Yeah.
So I have a trapped emotion.
Do I have a trapped emotion?
Okay.
I have a trapped emotion. Yeah. I can also test for you. There's something like this, something healing as well. So I can try that out.
Okay.
But first, I need to get myself as you, because everything is connected in the universe. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So first, I have to get myself to the point where I'm connected to you, and where pretty much when I answer the question or when I say my name is God, then I need to be strong. Only then can I do that for you.
Okay.
So let's see. My name is Claudia. Very good sign.
So do you close your eye? Do you close your eyes when you do this?
I normally not, but I do this now so I can focus.
Ah.
So then the next one is my name is Zazie. Okay, so now it works. Okay, so now I can also ask a question for you. Okay, and I have to be connected, and later I have to disconnect as well. Otherwise, I feel everything. Okay, so my name is Zazie, and do I have a trapped emotion? Okay, so yes. So it would be good if I had the chart here now, but let's see if I can make it up. Because normally you get a chart. If you look online on Google, look for emotion, charged. And you have like this list of all kinds of emotions. So, so now I'm asking which emotion is in which list. So let me just open up quick to make sure that I have there.
Okay.
Code charge. Oh, there it comes up. There's actually one that says emotion low and charge. You can that one is pretty good because it shows you on the side how you do it as well.
Okay.
Just make it big enough so I can see it. Come on, guys. Open up. Oh, right, that was tiny. Getting closer. Okay, now I have it. So, is the chapter in column A? No. Is it in column B? Yes. Is it in an even row? No. Is it in an odd row? Yes. So it's B in an odd row. Then I do go through which of those rows? Is it in row 1? Yes. Okay, so row 1. Is it effort? No. Is it heartache? No. Is it insecurity? No. Is it overjoy? No. Is it vulnerability? No. If it goes no for all of them, that means it's inherited, which means it's not your emotion. It is something that one of your ancestors had and that was given to you through the DNA.
Really? So this goes all the way back to ancestor ties. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah. Huh?
Pretty much to the Stone Age.
The Stone.
Necessary. So, okay. So first we need to figure out which emotion it is before we figure out who gave it to you. So is it effort and receipt? Chapter emotion, effort and receipt. Yes. Okay. So that it is. Is it from his father's? Is it from Ozzy's father's side? No. Is it from the mother's side? Is it the man? Yes. Okay. Is it his grandpa? Yes. So it's the grandpa on your mom's side that had this effort and receipt where he did something and he didn't get anything in return. And it caused this emotion in him that got trapped.
And it passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So probably your mom has it as well. So when you release it from pretty much your grandpa, everybody that received it in the meantime also will let go of it.
Okay.
So depending on how far it goes back, there's a lot of people. So, okay. So in order to release, so let me just real quick. So is this a trapped emotion? Sorry, is this an inherited trapped emotion? Yes. Okay. Is it? Oh yeah. Do we need to know more about this trapped emotion? No. Okay. So normally I would have a magnet with me for whatever is left of here. But the good thing is you need one. You can pretty much just take your hand and take a tip with your hands and go pretty much. If you do it on someone else, you can do it on the back of the spine, right? But if you do it on yourself, you can do it from here and then just go with the hands like this. Pretty much over the middle.
Okay, the middle. Okay.
And you need to do that 10 times.
10 times?
Yeah, because it's inherited, so it needs to be 10 times. If it's just your emotion, it's twice.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
Cool. So depending on how, let me see. Let me just ask a quick. If we release it from the grandfather, the mom, and everybody else who sits it. Yes. Okay. We did release it because sometimes when you do this, it could be that it didn't release it, so you need to do it again. But we're good now. So.
Okay. So when I do that is that supposed to release something, or is that supposed to focus? Okay.
Emotion. And sometimes you feel something, and sometimes you don't. But I'm going to teach you more techniques that you can use. This might not be the one that is right for you, but there's other ones, thank God. So the first one that I ever learned is called emotional freedom technique, where you tap. You might have seen that one, I don't know.
Okay.
And that's instead of doing this, first you say something, and then afterwards you go to tap like here or here here. You can find a lot of videos on that also. I did some on my channel, but you can also find a lot of other videos online about that.
Okay, but honestly, you want the viewers to go to your channel first.
That would be cool, yeah. But and yet,
so we'll advocate for viewers to check out your channel first before they go anywhere else, because I think the content that you have is very informative and emotional freedom. And I think that's the best place to start, in my opinion. But don't take my word for it. But if you're watching this, check out ClauDia's channel. It's really good. All right, so I got a few questions that I wanted to ask you. So my first question is, how do you define emotional freedom? What's your definition?
Emotional freedom is when you don't feel trapped by emotion or by anything. Let's say, actually, I think I can explain that best in two ways. Two stories. The first one was when I was burned out. One of the biggest reasons why I was burned out was because I had this fear of losing my job because I wasn't really performing well. And I had a lot of frustration, and I put so much effort in it, and nothing came back. So I had this fear of losing my job, and I used EFT, the other technique I just mentioned, to get rid of it. And as soon as, I think I did the process about 3 times, it took about 15 minutes to get rid of that fear.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, I just felt like an elephant jumped off my back. Like if it's really intense, it can really feel like that. And I remember before, I was walking around like an old woman. You see those old women that are like hunched over and walking around? And he said, I have seen them here. I was walking like hunched over with so much pain in my stomach and my back and my shoulders. So when I get rid of that fear, it just released so much tension from my body.
Mm-hmm.
And then another situation, which was one of my intimate relationships, pretty much before I did the emotion dump, as I call it, which means for the entire weekend, I locked myself into my room and did nothing but emotional freedom on the topic of intimate relationships. Any doubt, worry, fear that I had, anything that I thought that the guys thought about me, I got rid of. And it took me 3 days.
3 days?
It took me 3 days. I did only that.
So you locked yourself in your room for 3 days doing emotional freedom?
Yes, it was a lifetime of crap, pretty much. I'm sorry for the word.
Wow.
When it came to relationships. And the biggest change that I saw there, I remember I did a list, and there's something people might want to write down because it helps to do that. Make an Excel file, either like a normal Excel file or a Google Sheet, what I do now, and then write down each thought that comes into your mind, and each thought gets one line. And in my case back then, since I focused only on intimate relationships, because I couldn't focus on my business because I was thinking of the guy that just looked at me. So I wanted to get rid of all that stuff in my head so I could focus. And so I wrote down any thoughts that I had about him, about me, about what he thought about me. And then as I was writing it down and clearing it out, other stuff in the past was coming up. Like boyfriends might have been thinking about me. What I thought about myself because of how he acted towards me and things like that. And then right next to it, another column, I put down the intensity. So 0 to 10. 0 means that thought has no impact on me, no emotions. 10 means it's so freaking painful. It can also be like a belief, like I am ugly or lazy or I am whatever. Like, I don't know, whatever I am. People can, and they can write that down. And those ones are the most powerful to get rid of, by the way. It has something to do with your identity, with how you're serious, how you speak up. And in relationship with men, I was so bad myself when it came to stuff that I didn't know. So And after I did that, I remember the last line, and at the time I was literally, by the time I got the thought to do it, I deleted the line. And I remember by the time I got to the last line, there's this feeling of complete ease, a little bit of not floating, it would be too much. Ease of ease, like nothing is wearing me down, you know?
Yeah.
Inner peace.
I can relate to that very much because I used to be a person, especially when I was younger. I used to be a person who cared about what people thought of me, what I looked and how I acted, and it really affected me because when I was a kid, I was bullied myself to the point where anything I said, I always had to be careful about it because I always felt like someone was going to make fun of me. And that really affected the way how I interacted with people because I just was a quiet person who just didn't want to just say something that I thought people would perceive as stupid. But I did something similar to that, and it took me a long time to get by to pretty much stop caring what people think and just focus on caring about myself, because at the end of the day, the only person who's going to know 100% of who I am and what I do and what I like to do is me. Ultimately, I have to focus on how I feel about myself rather than what other people think. Because at the end of the day, they're just words what people say to you, whether they're good or bad. But at the end of the day, you have to make the choice if you're going to allow those words to affect you or not. So I decided myself that I'm not going to let what anyone say to me affect me. I really don't care, and I'm going to do stuff that makes me happy, that makes me feel good inside, and just do things that empower me to go through that emotional freedom, which I'm still working on today. I mean, it's not, to me, it's not a short-term process. It's a long term. I mean, it's a lifestyle process that you just gotta keep tinkering and messing around with. So I just think for me, just going to something similar like that, I just think it helped me be more attractive, not worry about what people think, and just doing the things that you love to do. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Actually, what you were sharing about the bullying, for me, it was very similar. I was, in the beginning in the school, I was always afraid of whenever I said something, someone else had to say something about what I said. And it's not about, no, this is wrong, no. that kind of, people were making fun of me, no matter what I said. And so eventually, I think I made some way of not doing anymore. Just to avoid that pain of the humiliation all the time. And the funny thing is now I'm actually creating also like comedic stories, and I want to learn more about comedy to invite that. So I was thinking, people used to make fun of me and laugh at me. Now they're making pay for it. Kind of like that. So if you want to laugh at me, give me some money. You know? Like that. But and the funny thing is, my husband actually, he's really good. He also had this thing where he couldn't, where he was also very worried about what people thought about him. And in his case, what he did, he lay down on the street, on a busy street, 3 lay down on the floor, just to get over what people were thinking about him. It's like you see someone lying on the street there, smiling, being awake, not having any limbs loose, you know. You're wondering what is going on with him. So he invited people to touch him, pretty much like that. And it helped him let go of this worry, this fear. And it really was powerful for him.
It's amazing where you think people would live, like when you see people who are like living on the streets, for instance, a few poor people, you think we always make the assumption that they are really most all of them are not happy. They don't have the lifestyle that we have. They probably wish that they did, but we make that assumption that they're not happy. And you'd be surprised how many people in those situations are happy because they're not they're not held down by materialistic things. Like, I mean, they don't have to worry about, oh, do I have to pay taxes? Do I have to pay bills? This stuff that stresses people out,
Yeah.
that that holds them down. They don't have to worry about that, and they tend to worry a lot more for themselves than all these materialistic things that like you or I are accustomed to having. I think that's just an amazing view when you see that, when you see a poor person just, they focus on stuff for themselves and surviving and just finding ways to keep going in life. But I mean, for those people, I mean, I'm not saying for all. I mean, I'm sure there's some that that wish they could move up the lifestyle, but there are, to me, from what I've seen, that there are some poor people who are happy with the lifestyle. Yet we make that assumption from our point of view that they're not. But I mean, really, they're not attached to anything, or they're not attached to anything. I think that's good. I think for some people.
Yeah, detachment is something that we have to have, and that's by clearing out all the emotions. I was able to be detached from having to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I remember maybe a week after that, I was walking along and I was thinking, it would be nice to be in a relationship right now. Oh, guess what happened? About a month after I cleared everything out, I met my husband.
Yeah.
And it was, I didn't have to fight in any way. Before, I had to run after the guys. Now he was the one who was doing the pursuing.
Yeah, I think that's interesting though. Like, when you don't chase after somebody that it's amazing when you chase after somebody, the person you're chasing after is not interested, but when you don't give it the attention, because my wife was similar like that too. Like when I'm busy doing something, it drives her nuts that I'm not giving her attention. But when I do give her attention, she kind of push away a bit, because it's just not. I think it's a challenge. I think when people focus on themselves and do stuff on themselves, I think it really gives an aura of attractiveness. I think people are attractive to people who are really focused on themselves and really want to strive to better or improve themselves. I think a lot of people are very focused and become attracted to that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Trying to see, I have a good story for that. I think it's like I know with my husband, for example, he had a list of the ideal woman, and I think I made like 98% of that. Thank God.
I'm sure you made. Well, now you're 100%.
So, and I think at the time I didn't have a list, but I had a really good picture, which I didn't have with the other guys before. And my husband also is like almost a perfect match. He's not Latino, but he's Brazilian. It's close enough. Which is still really, really cool. Now I actually like Brazilian music. If I have a choice, probably a little bit more than Latin music, but I still like it. But yeah, it's just, I think if you know what you want, and at the same time can be detached from have to having and have to have it now, it allows you to not be stressed out about it. And I mean, when you think about the movie of the future, that's one thing that I think about as well. Because you need to know what you want. You need to feel like you already have it, so you don't get all discouraged when it's not there, when it's not coming. Because you always have this kind of time in between where, let's say, where the universe gives you time to rethink if that's really what you want. And if in that time, if you start getting doubts that why is it not coming? If anybody wants to ask why questions, positive why questions. That's what I call it, affirmations. Actually, I don't call them, but Noah and John really created those. You might have heard of affirmations, which is like statements that pretty much say what you want. Like, I am rich. Or, I am healthy and fit, which is the one that I'm working on.
Aren't we all?
And if you want to try to answer a question, and I just said with my husband, just like yesterday or the day before. If you turn it into a question, what is weak in muscle testing for the affirmation is strong for the affirmation. So instead of saying I am rich, or let's say I'm healthy, where it might go down, you ask why am I healthy? It stays strong because it already assumes you have it. And I think it's one of the best time traps you might get yourself in, to actually already get yourself feeling like you have what you want. And that helps you also be detached from my experience.
I think I like the point that you bring up with the rich. I think I like to define rich. I think people need to redefine what they define as rich. I think that's a big, because when we talk about rich, most people think about money, and I think many people who think about that tends to be stressed over, I gotta have more money, I gotta save up for more money, I gotta do this, how I'm gonna get more money, how I'm gonna pay more bills. I think the definition of being rich really stresses people out, and I think it holds them back from getting that emotional freedom.
Yeah.
I think because I have my definition of rich. For me, rich is not just having tons of money, but being rich is being around family. I always say that when I'm around my family, I'm a rich person, regardless of where my financial status is, because I have, at the end of the day, I have people who will support me, will have my back in any situation. And I think that those connections make me feel rich. And I'm sure it does for you with your family. They like, no matter what situation goes on, it happens, you're rich for the rest of your life because you have family who are there for you to support. So I think for me, the definition of being rich tends to hold back from people having that emotional freedom as you define. And I think that really stresses them a lot, to the point that they just build up and they never figure out their true definition of what being rich is, and they just pass it on to the next generation, and they carry on, because now they thinking the same thing, like, hey, I gotta have all this money, but they don't think, well, there's other sources of what makes a person rich. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Like when I got my husband, it felt like I got the jackpot.
Yeah.
He's an amazing man. Let's put it like this: like all the attention that I didn't get from the other men, I got from him tenfold. And like, very, very caring, very big heart, and also my daughter, so much energy, so much love, and like she makes us laugh every day. And also the rest of my family, I feel very blessed. And I've never been into materialistic things so much. I'm more into experiences. I love to experience things and see things, like travel the world, see things. I love Brazil. I can't wait until I go back.
Oh, well, I would love to go to
States
Brazil.
as well. Yeah,
I would love to go to Brazil. Oh yeah, I'm like that too. I'm more of the experience rather than being materialistic. I'm more like, when I do Christmas with my family, I like to do trips. I like to take about the trips, because I think the most valuable asset for anyone is the memories. I mean, if you take a look at like a hurricane tragedy, for instance, where all, like, a lot of people will lose their homes and valuables. It's amazing how they don't focus on losing the house; they focus on losing the memories. They cry over they cry over the pictures and the memories that made them a family and grow as a family. I think those are very important. I think those experiences are very important. I went for me last year. I got to go to Australia and New Zealand, and I got to skydive and bungee jump for the very first time. And I've always wanted to do it, and it made me. I felt like I was reborn when I did those things, and just to go out there to my first. And those two countries were my first Southern Hemisphere countries that I visited. So it was, for me, it was that moment that I felt like that I was free. I was like, I'm finally doing stuff that I enjoy doing, and it makes me feel good. And I don't know. I just love doing. I feel rich not only with my family, but when I accomplish things and experience, though. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. For me, when I go to Brazil, when I go to America, I'm thinking about two things. I'm thinking about the landscape, the gorgeous, beautiful landscape, but more than anything, I think about the people that I met there and the emotions that I feel when I think about them and how they make me feel. Like, I mean, Elliot's family, they made me feel, oh my God, like I'm God fifth to the globe or something like that. And it's just an amazing feeling. And same with them. And it's just, and like places that I want to see is, for example, what's the name of it? I think it's in Cambodia. There's this temple, and there's like this trees growing over it. It looks amazing, and that's definitely one thing I'm going to see. And also Shanghai, the skyline, and all of those places. But those are things that I want to see with my husband. And it's just exciting because, like, when you learn about new cultures, you learn about new sides of yourself as well, and you grow a lot more. That's so exciting. And I mean, whenever I meet someone that has a different religion, I like to know about it just to understand what's the difference, what's the similarities. Is there anything that I would like that I would take over for me? And like I've met people. I was living in Utah, so funny enough is that that seemed to be the only place that Mormons don't try to convert you. But it was beautiful, and I met someone there, and he explained to me exactly in the book, in the Book of Mormon, where does it say that you're not supposed to drink Coca-Cola? Where does it say that you're not supposed to do a lot of different things? But it was very interesting to see that, and most of the time it is actually interpretations of what it says. I remember the book said something like "keep your body clean." That can mean a lot of things. That's, and then for them it means no soda, no alcohol, no cigarettes, all this different stuff. I mean, the only thing funny enough, only when I was pregnant I was drinking Coca-Cola. When I wasn't.
Yeah.
But my husband was very careful making sure that I don't drink any Coca-Cola. I was pregnant. But it was kind of funny. But yeah, it's quite interesting, all the different people that I've met and all the things that I've learned from them about their culture and also about what intrigues me about it and what is something that maybe repulses me a little bit. But both of those things help me learn more about myself. And even sometimes the thing that initially might repulse me, is not the word, like push me away, is something, if I look at it, maybe there's something about it. There must be a reason why they're doing it. So I'm trying to figure out why is it that they're doing it, to see if there's something I can still learn. Like I remember Tony Robbins one time he was sharing how, because he was one of those people that keeps on going and working time and just burn out. Like that's more could be his extreme. Versus his son was more like the lazy type. He was just hanging out all the time. It was so crazy, And the funny thing is, eventually he started learning, instead of judging his son for the choices he's made, actually looking, what can I learn from him? And then he learned to start relaxing a little bit more, which is actually a better for his body. So he found better balance. Once he did that, his son started picking up and being more productive. It's kind of funny that way.
All right, so so I agree. I like the point how you talk about traveling and meeting different people, and that it seemed like it opened your mind a lot more. Was that the case? Was that true when you visit those places?
Definitely, yeah. I think I learned. Let me see where I learned most. When I was in the States, I learned a lot about myself. In the States, I was living in. Let me see. I was living in San Francisco core area there. Hayward, I was living in Los Angeles. My husband and I both are in love with this city. And I lived in Utah. I studied in Utah. And let's see, did I live in it? I don't think you can stay for a week in a place living. So I think that was it. And then we had Brazil, and then we had Prague, and Czech Republic. I lived in UK and London and Ireland. I mean, that's why my English is so all over the place.
Oh no, your English is fine. You're fluent. You're good. I can understand you. You're fine. Trust me. Yeah. You're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'm trying to remember. I think I forgot your question now. Can you say it again?
All right. So yeah, I definitely agree that traveling the world really does help to open your mind and give you a different perspective to see how people live in different ways. I notice when I travel throughout the world, and it's just people behave certain ways, but they're really when you get that view, you like, oh, you compare your life to their life, and then you realize that they're kind of living the same way that you're living, but they're not as they're not as stressed. I know when like I said, when I went to Australia, New Zealand, it was amazing how easygoing and laid back the people were in those respective countries. It just seems like they were never stressed about a whole lot of things. They were nice. I had New Zealanders and Australians just walk up to me and just started talking to me. These are people I didn't know, but they just talked to me about anything, and it was a relief to me to know that people are that kind enough out there to want to talk to you, even though they knew I was an American. They knew I was American. They knew I wasn't from here, but they were kind enough to talk to me about anything. It was amazing what I could talk to them about, and it didn't matter to them. They didn't care. It's like they wanted to establish a connection with you just to establish a connection. Yeah. And that was very refreshing, because it just seems like I didn't need to be so closed up. I didn't need to be like, okay, am I going to offend somebody? I don't want to offend anybody when I travel, but I did out there in those two countries, I didn't feel like I had to be quiet. I didn't have to be shy. I could express myself to those people. I share my opinions about the world and stuff. Yeah. It's amazing to me. It's amazing how many New Zealanders and Australians ask me the question about the president that I serve under in my country. It's amazing how many times I've been asked that. I've been asked that a lot last year. And it's like, I'm like, wow, like I didn't know y'all cared so much about what was going on in my country. But it was very refreshing to see that point of view, that they had a point of view of how my president out here works and how he's doing it. And I don't know, it was just refreshing to have that open dialogue and just feel comfortable talking in front of those people.
Yeah. I have to say, though, I think everybody in the world has an opinion about your president at the moment.
Well, of course. He loves to talk. I don't. He loves to talk.
Anyway, yeah. I haven't had a similar situation in my case. When I was in the States, I think it was the first time that I came. Yeah, I was like mostly like with the tense, where it was quite intense. When I was in Germany, when I was studying, I remember like Germans tend to be a bit more. Like a little bit distant, okay?
Yeah.
Like we hug as a family, but we don't tend to hug every person. I mean, there's I remember in school some girls were like just here and so on, and we didn't do that. Like me and my friends, we didn't do that. And only after we split schools, like where they went their way and I went my way, that's when we started. Yeah, we gave each other a hug. But I was going to college. What is this? Because they're everybody that I saw.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, I was hanging out mostly with international students, French people, Americans. We had Italians, and most of those people were very huggy and kissy. And it took me a while, let me see, quite a few years as I was with them to get used to that. But then eventually when I went to the States and I spent a lot of time with Latinos and Mexican people, and I love the energy they have, and they have it especially hard. And it was quite funny because sometimes I surprised them, me, the restricted or restrained or whatever you call it, German, suddenly giving them I ended up kind of combining the German way with giving a hand. So by giving them a hand, and I pulled them close with this teeth here, like but it was quite fun. And in Brazil, it's quite similar. And the one thing that struck me with Brazil, my husband actually was very, it's more like this. He's a lot more like this. Than he is in Brazil, but I think that has a lot to do with the crime rate in Rio.
Yeah.
And like I remember when the first time we came to Prague, in the safest area of Prague, he was very, very tense, looking up behind him. That's what he's used to in Rio.
Really?
Yeah. And eventually we got used to it. But in Rio, I remember we were going with we call that market, the wheat market or something like that, where you can go and get produce and all that kind of different things. And I remember there was one stand where, like, I think she had like little jewelry or something, and it fell down. And all I did was to pick up, and including my husband, she was looking at me like she was gonna kill me, like she thought I was stealing it from her. And put it back up. And I think one thing that I've learned in the book, Chico Choice, in the very beginning, Lionel Sousa, he's talking about how, in this case, Latin cultures have this kind of internal victim mentality. I mean, I think a lot of people, every culture has this in some way, shape, or form. Have this victim mentality. And I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people within the culture have that. But in their case, it had a lot to do with the kind of people that, how they were treated before. And it kind of touched my heart a lot. And in Brazil was the same, just like in Mexico or so. But the Spaniards came and, let's say, weren't too nice to the people that were living there. And that can cause a lot of trapped emotions, as you can see. And
yeah, I agree with that.
A lot of the work that I did as a life coach was with Latin people, and I love working with them because they have such a beautiful energy, beautiful heart. And right now, as I said, what I'm doing is to just give every advice that I have, every tip that I can find, everything that I learned, and just give away on my YouTube. Because it didn't, right now I cannot connect the life as a mom with the life as a coach, because my daughter needs my attention every 5 minutes. Right now my husband takes care of her. And that's why it's kind of peace and quiet right now. But normally she's my attention, so that's why I cannot be life coaching for her. And I think this one suits me a lot better as well. So if you guys want to check out more like inspirational things, from interviews to videos and what else do I have? Some funny videos also from me and my daughter. I invite you to come over.
Okay. All right. So before we close it, I just got one more question. You bring up the victimhood mentality. And I agree with what you say. I think we're in a world where people are just feel like they're victims and they're blaming people without evidence. How do you think the Me Too movement has affected how people or affect their emotional freedoms? I mean, do you think it limits them? Do you think it opens it up because now they can speak out? What do you think about that before we end this broadcast?
Yeah, I think it's more the latter one, where I actually created a thing on my Twitter somewhere. There. I think if someone else speaks up, it's easier for let's say if I speak up and someone else sees that, it's going to be easier for them to speak up. I think you were the one that was commenting on my food video. That's what I like to call it. Don't worry, there's no books shown, but it's pretty much what I did there. When you think about it, I ended up in a safe environment, help someone else to let go and break free of their limits by opening up myself. And in this case, I showed my boobs to a group of 100 people. And one of those people needed to see exactly that, not because my boobs are so amazing, but because she needed to do exactly the same, to feel free and let go of her fears, this woman couldn't even let her husband touch her boob. She was so sensitive about having little boobs. And that's the idea. If coming back to the Me Too movement, if someone else opens up and shares, and the more that happens, the more it's easier for other people to do the same, because they don't feel like, oh, it's just me. Because there's a lot of shame involved with having something like that done to you. And the more people bring it to the surface, the less shame it's gonna have. That's why it actually helps people. It might not completely remove what happiness for the pain, but it will help them to speak out a lot more. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. So we're gonna end this segment. We're gonna look to do some more. I would like to do more. Would you like to do more collab? I think this was a fun and we're about to do a second one. Yeah, we're gonna do a second one, and we're just gonna kick that off next. And yeah, but this has been an awesome collaboration. This was a wonderful collaboration. So if you like this, please hit like, share, subscribe. Also, check out ClauDia's YouTube page. It'll be posted down below. Please check it out. She's got wonderful content. I think it will help a lot of people. So, yeah, I'm going to end it right there. So, as I always say on this channel, be epic, be legendary, and we'll be seeing you later.
See ya.